And there we are. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back. It has been a while since we have seen this show, and this was your favorite. I know it was your favorite, so I'm just going to assume this was your favorite Thursday night show right here on blackdoctor.org, and that is Vegan-ish with Dr. Monique May. We took a little while off, but we are back. We are back. We are back, as they say, and we are
Welcome back. Welcome back.
welcome back. I think we should have played the Welcome Back Carter theme or something, just to
Yes. Or
you know.
guess who's back? Back again.
Yes, yeah. Oh, there's so many. There's so many ways we could have just taken that, but we
There's
just
so many. There's so many. But that's
we could have
okay.
done
Then
Coming
we
to
would have had to
America.
pay what is it? Copyright or trademark or something
Oh
like
yeah,
that,
they
right?
would have blacked it out as soon as we did it. So I'll just say like they said in Coming to America, I'm very happy to be here, and that's
Me
how
too.
we're gonna start this off.
Me too. It's so
What's up,
good to
Doc? How you
see you.
been?
I have been good. Where haven't I been? I am, for those who kind of remember, if you're new or you need a refresher, I'm Dr. Monique. I am a board certified family physician known as Physician in the Kitchen, and I help America fix their health one plate at a time. And my mission is to do that, to help people fix their plate, invest in their health with what they're eating, and have the best diet, best health that they can. So when last we spoke, I was an empty nester. My son is now a sophomore at A&T here in North Carolina, and I have been, oh my goodness, I've been traveling. I think the most exciting thing I've done since you saw me last is I went to Ghana. I went to
Mm,
Ghana for 10 days, and that was really it was really an experience. It was really eye-opening. It was humbling. It was educational. It was reaffirming. It was all of the things. And so had been wanting to make that trip for a while, and I was able to go with an alumni group, and it was wow. And then of course this was the year of the concert, right? I mean,
yep.
Usher and Beyonce and Jill Scott. And so I did paid my coins to see those shows. And
Love.
I know. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad, but it was enjoyable. I love live music, and I had never seen these performers live. Jill Scott I had seen before, but I'd never seen Usher. I'd never seen Beyonce. So I was like, you know what? Why not? So yeah, and then just doing things. I'm launching my vegan Worcestershire sauce. So
Oh
we'll have to
wow.
talk more about that. But I finally got the recipe just where I want it, and looking to get that in the store shelves. So I've been busy. I've been busy. So how about you? I mean, we used to have our stick. We had our thing. So it's good to be back with you and check in
It
with you, Ellis.
it is. It's been fantastic. I have I'm still hosting here on Black Doctor, but I got a new gig. I started with Common Spirit Health here recently, and on the More in Common Alliance. I'm the marketing manager for the More in Common Alliance, which is a program that is designed to uh, develop the next generation of Black doctors. And so I'm
I
really,
love
really
it.
excited to be able to help. And we're going to help them out in the community because, as you know, statistics and studies have shown that Black patients do better when they have practitioners that look like them. And so
Mhm.
we need more of them because I think right now the numbers are floating between 3 and 5% of doctors out there, and that number has not grown appreciably since 1960. And so, but the population of Black people has grown significantly since that amount of time. And so we've got to match our population. So if we have 13% of the population, I'd like to get up to about 13% of doctors of color or of doctors that are culturally competent. So we're not exclusively training doctors of color, but we're training them in cultural competence and we're training them to go into communities that are typically underserved. And so really just excited about that next chapter. But as you can see, I'm still affiliated with BDO. I still love talking to you all. I love the hosting. I got to have Dr. Monique back. We got to get people veganish. We got to get them the way
Give
to do
people
it.
what they want. Give the people what they
Absolutely.
want. Well, I'm excited for you, that new venture, that new chapter you're going into. It's very much needed, and I'm excited, looking forward to just seeing how that pans out, because that's we've got a lot of work to do, and so
Yes.
that's wonderful, and kudos to you. So we had we we kind of talked about what we were going to do tonight, and we're kind of dipping our toes back in the water. But we wanted to again welcome our returning viewers, welcome our new folks, and kind of just give you a lay of the land. We can't come back the same way we left. So we've got some new and exciting things in store for you guys over the next few weeks. But first, we do want to, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So one of the things we love to do on here was rep your city. For those of you who don't know, I'm a proud New Yorker. I've been in Charlotte, North Carolina since 1996, but New York will always be home. I went to med school in Philadelphia, Temple University, and I went to this little school in Chapel Hill for undergrad. So I've kind of left my footprint, and my family is from Alabama. So, but we love to see and hear where you are watching from. I see we've got already St. Louis or Midwest. We used to kind of have a little unofficial competition to see who would chime in first, either East Coast, West Coast, Midwest. So thank you, Whitney, for watching. Go ahead and rep your city. Philly, there we go. Philly come through. So the other thing we wanted to add on is not only rep your city, but drop in the chat what food, right? We're here to talk about
Yep.
food. What food is your city known for? Now, Philly is that's low hanging fruit. I'm not going to go for the obvious with Philly, but go ahead and drop. But I got a plant-based version of that Philly cheesesteak, right? We'll have to talk about that one day. But what food is your city known for? And no judgment here. It doesn't have to be plant-based. It doesn't have to be the healthiest. This is a process. I'm here to help you rethink and kind of reshape some of your meal choices. But this is a judgment-free zone. Please know that. And so, rep your city. Let us know one thing that you guys at your town or city is known for. So we've got Ori tuning in from Wilmington, Delaware. Thank you so much. If you're watching this live, go ahead and tap somebody on the shoulder. Say, come on in. They're back. Veganish is back. Come on in. Have a seat. Join in with us. And if you're watching this on the replay, please type in the chat hashtag replay, because we'd love to know that you spent some of your oh so valuable time with us. The other thing we wanted to focus on too, Ellis, is to make sure people know this show is for you. And
Yep.
so we want to make it's informative, it's educational, but we also want to make it interactive as much as we can. So please make sure you drop your questions. If you have show topics you'd like to see, please let us know, because we want you to spend these 30 minutes or so with us and walk away with feeling like, yeah, that was worth my time. I didn't know that before, or that was helpful. So the way we do that is help us help you. Okay. And so let us know. BDO has an amazing social media platform. They're very interactive. So if you don't get your comment in during the live show, you could always leave it in the chat, and it will be followed up on. So let's see. We've got North Carolina, and we know for our chopped barbecue. You know, there was a show I was watching. Barbecue is like territorial. And I've
Yes.
never been a real big barbecue person, but there's like North Carolina barbecue, there's Texas barbecue, I think the Midwest, St. Louis barbecue. So yes, that barbecue is a thing. It is a thing for certain people. So thank you. We've got
It's all
Lily
about the sauce. It's all about the sauce. The sauce makes everything. So
sauce, and then there's like the dry rub and the wet rub or
dry
something.
rub
It's
and wet rub. Yeah.
all kind of nuances there. Lillian is watching from Grand Rapids, Michigan, so we got another Midwesterner in the house. So yes, so let's do this. Let's go ahead and kind of give you guys too some of the things to look forward to. So this go round, as I mentioned, it's gonna be more interactive. But we're also gonna be doing some more cooking demos. Before we
Yes.
did it, I did a cooking demo that I think was kind of popular, and I've got some new recipes that I'd love to share with you guys, and because I want to show you how easy they are. I think one thing that people think of when they think of, oh, I want to go plant-based, but does that mean I'm gonna be in the kitchen all day and night, or weeks on end or whatever? And so the short answer is no. No, it does not mean that. And I'm here to show you how easy it is to tinker, make small adjustments or big adjustments depending on where you are or what your goal is, and show you how much fun and easy it can be in the kitchen. So we've got Columbus and the Midwest is they're standing up tonight. All right.
Yes, standing up.
So they are standing up. So yeah, so we're gonna be doing some cooking demos, maybe even some remote some remote shoots if I'm doing a grocery store, like kind of how to shop those aisles and things like that. So again, if there are topics or things you want to see me do or hear me talk about, please let me know so that we can make this content valuable to you. In Miami, Florida. Oh my goodness. Who
Finally,
Miami.
Florida showing up. There we go.
My
California in the house. That's what's up.
There you go. Yes, yes. I was actually in I forgot to mention. So I was in California a couple weeks ago. I am now a vineyard owner, the part owner. I don't own the whole thing by myself, but I invested in a vineyard. So I was actually in near Sacramento, so much further north than San Diego, but very exciting. Vegan wine, of course. It's a vegan winery, and so it's a bunch of women investors, and it's very exciting. I don't know much about wine, but I have a feeling I'm going to be learning, and so that's something new. And I also went to my first GEO. I can't I have to say this because I mentioned my son is at A&T. I had never been to GEO, y'all. Even though I went to Chapel Hill, had never been to GEO. So I went to my very first GEO. For those who don't know, GEO is greatest homecoming on earth. That's what the folks at A&T say. And it was fun. It was so much fun. Having gone to a PWI, I was so glad that they let me party with them. And I had a great time. I had a great time. So I think that's kind of touching all the introductory bases. Did I leave anything out there, Mr. Ellis? Anything we need to folks know about?
I think you touched it all. You touched on it all. I just kind of get my fingers to work right. I can't spell anything tonight. So yes, there is a black female-owned vegan winery that is coming to you here. So stay
Yes.
tuned. We will get you the links. We will get you
Yes.
all that you need to know about how you can order wine directly, the vegan wine from Dr. Monique. So yeah, we've got some wonderful things. Oh, another thing that we're going to be doing this new season of Veganish is we're going to do some we're going to look at some pantries and we're going to tell you what is good and what is not good in your pantry and what you can switch out to make it healthier. And if you want to go all the way to vegan, we can tell you how to make it vegan, but we're definitely going to make it healthier. We're going to go back to and show you how to look at those labels and really read them and help you preserve some foods. Because I know a lot of times people complain about fresh foods just not being preserved long enough. So we're going to give you some tips, and there's some going to be some videos and some other tips that we're going to give you to show you how to keep those bananas fresh longer, to how to keep those fresh fruits in your house longer, so therefore you can enjoy them more and get instead of having to throw them out because they've rotted after a week or so. So all of that is coming up with this new season of Veganish.
That's right. Thank you. Thank you so much for adding that. Thank you to Sherry from tuning. Oh, Sherry, I remember Sherry. Sherry's back with us
Hey, what's
from
up?
Brooklyn. Thank you, Sherry. Sherry's an OG. She is a veganish OG.
Yes,
Thank
she is. Yes,
you
she
so
is.
much for watching. So before we get into it, I do want to just give the disclaimer that this information that we are going to share is meant for educational, entertainment purposes. But welcome back, Sherry. But again, always please, please, please know that this information is not meant to treat, diagnose, cure, or prevent any disease. And you need to definitely speak with your doctor about your particular health concerns and how this information may or may not work for you. Um, so that being said, I think we one of the features we did before was nutrition in the news.
Mhm.
And that was where I kind of look for things or topics that come up in the news that talk about health and food and things like that. And so um before I get into that though, I do want to say the other purpose of this show, and we did actually a video on it, gosh, I guess going on 2 years ago now, where we talked about, well, why be plant-based, why be vegan, plant-based, and what do those terms even mean, and kind of, so let's kind of level set first, because again, if you're new to the show, or if you need a little refresher from when we were on before, so the terms vegan and plant-based can be used interchangeably, but they don't quite mean the same thing.
Yeah.
Plant-based means that you eat just either 100% of your diet or the majority of your diet is strictly plants. So that means no dairy, no animal-based dairy, no no eggs, no chicken, no fish, nothing that is not plant-based. Now, in that umbrella of plant-based, you when we think of plant-based, you think, oh, automatically that means it's healthy, but pump your brakes because if it's highly processed, it can be highly processed and be plant-based, but those that does not necessarily mean it's healthy. So over the course of the show, we're going to be talking about what does it mean, or how, like you mentioned, how do you read those labels? Because everything that's plant-based may not be the healthiest. Okay, so we're going to help you kind of learn discern how to make those differences. And then you have vegan, which is again all plant-based. They don't eat anything that's not plant-based. But it actually goes a little further, and it's actually more of a lifestyle because not only do true vegans not eat anything that had a mother, it's kind of how they put it, but they don't wear anything that an animal was used to make. So silk, even though the worms make they're not harmed. Some strict vegans may not wear silk. They may not wear obviously leather. They may not wear oh gosh, what's the other one? I'm forgetting. I'm drawing a blank. But anything that is a byproduct of an animal, they don't eat honey
Alpaca.
because it's made by bees, huh?
You can't wear alpaca either. I know y'all like to wear y'all alpaca sweaters during this wintertime. I'm just saying, can't wear that.
I can't hear alpaca without thinking about that scene in American Gangster with Denzel Washington. You know what scene I'm talking about.
Yep,
You need to block that. You need to block that.
there it is.
Anyway, um, so yes, they don't patronize like zoos and aquariums and things like that because they feel that's cruel to animals. So veganism can actually mean a whole lot more than just what you eat. So, just to kind of want to level set that. So, when we talk about going plant based, I talk to people or encourage people to determine your why as to why you're doing this. Anytime you're trying to make a change, like say for example, you are moving toward a more plant-based diet, or you decided you're going to stop smoking, or stop drinking as much, or start exercising, or whatever you want to do that someone's telling you you need to do or recommending that you need to do, you need to identify your why because then are you really going to be successful at maintaining it. And it doesn't mean you may not have, we fall down, we get up, right? You may have relapses or setbacks. But for long-term success, it is important to identify your why. Yes, the doctor can tell you, hey, Miss So and so, you need to cut back on XYZ. Um, but until you internalize that and say, well, yeah, I want to do this because I'm tired of my knees hurting, or I want to be here for my grandchildren, or whatever it is, that's why you'll be more successful. So I just want to kind of just put that out there because my reason for going plant-based can be completely different from yours. It could be
Yep.
similar, but it's my personal reason. And I'll tell you my personal reason. So I how do I so I have a scary family history, just like a lot of African Americans in this country. So we've got cancer on both sides. We've got heart disease. I lost my both grandmothers actually in their late 60s to heart disease complications, coronary artery disease. Both were smokers. Um, and so there was that. My mom has high blood pressure. I have high blood pressure. So I already had these things that I couldn't control, right? Can't fix your family history. And then in 2020, along with this little thing called the COVID pandemic, I turned 50. I turned 50 in that May. And I just really wanted to, kind of took stock, right? So, hey, I want to live for another 50 years. How do I do that as healthily as I can? What tweaks and changes can I make? And for me, that my diet was the next area to look at. I was already, exercising pretty regularly. Um, don't really have any other vices other than shopping, but I don't think that affects my lifespan. Maybe my wallet, but so wanted to look at what I could do. And so I was never really a big red meat eater. And so that wasn't a big change, a drastic change. And then so I started reading. I started reading more. I watched documentaries about, our food supply, and it really was eye opening. And so I started making those changes as far as, well, what if I do cut out the fish and chicken? Because that's pretty much what I did eat, for more plant-based diets. And that's saw my cholesterol numbers improve dramatically. I mean, it was pretty amazing. So that was my why. So again, go if you're embarking upon this journey, and first of all, kudos to you for even thinking about it. But if you're embarking on this journey, be sure you identify your why to make you increase your chances of success. So I've been talking about Ellis. Do you have anything you want to jump in there and say? Because I know you last time we were on here, you were going through some dietary changes and seeing some benefits. So do you want to add some color to that, to those comments?
I do. I think you're absolutely right. And that's why
You're
I have
cap-
underneath my name plant-based eater, sort of, right? Because I'm still on the journey. My journey is a little bit longer than yours, but I know my why, right? And similar to you, got a family history of hypertension. I noticed my blood pressure started going up, and it had been, you know, I'd always had that. You put the cuff on, I was 120 over 80. I was Mr. Cool, and then it started creeping up. 130 over, I was like, wait, hold up. And then it went up to 140 over something. And this is what I'm talking about in terms of you have to be in control of your own health, because the nurse took the cuff off and she was like, yeah, it's 140 over, I think it was over like 90 something.
Oh, you're freezing up a little bit.
And I said,
I think
and
he
she
was saying his
said,
pressure was actually okay. He's back.
yeah, okay, I'm back now. So, and I said, did you say
Mhm.
140? And she said, yes. And she said, is that unusual for you? And I said, yes. I said, I'm a bit concerned about it. And she was like, well, you just walked in here. Maybe you're elevated because you walked from the parking deck. And I was like, that was a bit dismissive. And so I said, I did the moment, and I could have accepted her response, or I could have said, oh, let me do something about this. And so we've been doing this show. And I said, I need to do something about this. So I really revved up that journey. And that journey meant cooking with less salt in our diet. And so, because for black folks, we tend to be more salt sensitive. So we have to recognize that as a people, and started finding more ways to cook with herbs and cook with vegetables and lower. I still eat meat. I'm not cold turkey on the meat, but I went
Mhm.
more to fish and really lean chicken, no skin, chicken breast, chopped up just for the flavor, but not a whole lot. I started really lowering that portion size when it came to meat, because before it was like meat was half the plate, then a little bit of vegetables and some starch. Now it's half the plate is vegetables, about a handful, maybe some meat for some flavor, and then I really chop up different types of vegetables, and we'll go into this throughout the show, throughout this reboot of the show. We're gonna talk about those vegetables that are really good, what they're good for, and it really has changed the way I feel. It changes everything. It changes your bowel movement. It changes everything. I'm gonna be real with you. It changes all of that. But I tell you, I feel much better about it, and I'm gonna continue on this plant-based journey. I'll tell you one last story. I used to be a Popeyes fan, right? I used to love me some Popeyes. I loved it when I was in college. Popeyes was my spot. So maybe about a month or so ago, I said, "Well, I haven't had Popeyes in a long time." I was hungry. I stopped and I got it. Right? I know I shouldn't. I know. I see your face, Doc. I see your face. I stopped and got it. I went home and I ate it, and I did not enjoy it because my body had gotten used to the vegetables, the less salt, the no grease, all of that stuff. And so when I put fried grease, salt all in my body was like, "What is this?" And I didn't enjoy it. And I said, when my wife came home, and I said, "I think I just Forrest Gump white Popeyes." And she said, "What do you mean?" You know that scene in Forrest Gump where he's been running, and then he just stops and he says, "I'm tired now. I think I'm gonna go home." It was just
Yeah.
random as that was it. I didn't want to make any fanfare about it. I was like, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna eat Popeyes anymore. I think
No,
I'm
I that's why I was making that face because I was like, I know where this is going. And I had a feeling that's what you were gonna say, is that your body was like, wait, what is this? Like and after a certain age, I for me it was McDonald's. I, after I got to a certain age, I ain't even 50. I wasn't even in my 50s yet. They just didn't. I was like, oh, I can't do this anymore. Like it's just
mm,
not. And so, and in particular, I hadn't even made any significant dietary changes at that point. So for you, having gone to this more conscious, okay, I'm gonna have my plate to be vegetables and so forth, I can imagine that that would not have sat right with your spirit for
it
that, with
didn't.
your body. So
It it
yes.
didn't until yeah. So I'm telling everybody that's watching the show, Sherry, thank you so much for that encouragement. Everybody's watching the show. It is a process, and that's what this show is for, to help you through that process. We're going to be your accountability partners, right? And so
I love it.
when you're having those tough days, when you don't know what to do, watch this show, go back. You can go to our YouTube page or blackdoctor.org, type in search for veganish. There are several episodes from our previous season. If you're diabetic, we've got 3 shows talking about how sugar, the different types of sweeteners impact your blood sugar, from honey to aspartame to agave to all of those things. We did 3 whole shows about sugar and how it impacts your blood. We did shows about the different colors of vegetables, and we're going to continue to do those things. So come here, get your accountability, get your strength to go out there and live that more plant-based diet, sort of.
Yes. And that's why we call it vegan-ish, right? Because
Right.
it is a process. I am definitely more plant-based than I was when I started the show. But I'm my philosophy or my approach is, if the majority of your food is healthy, I'm happy. If every now and then you want to eat something that's not ideal, I'm not gonna knock you for that. But if
Right.
99.99% of the time you're eating healthy, or even 90 to 95% of the time, let's be a little more realistic. If you're eating what fuels your body and really is healthy and beneficial for you, then I'm happy with that. So I'm looking at the time. I know we do before, we used to say this is the fastest 30 minutes of the day. We are doing a little bit longer today just because it's the reboot. But I do want to share with you the nutrition in the news that I came across. And the article is, swapping processed meat for plant-based foods may cut diabetes and heart disease risk. And I do, before I share with this, I do want to also put one little asterisk on the vegan versus plant-based comments I made earlier. We are going to be focusing more on whole food plant-based, because that's a very key
Yeah.
distinction. As I mentioned, foods can be processed and be plant-based, but the healthiest, the more benefits you're going to get is going to be from those whole foods, which means minimal processing.
Right.
Mobile, Alabama, thank you so much for watching. So, and not all processing is bad. Let's be real. Anytime if you slice or cut or freeze something, that's processing, right? Because you're taking it from, it's a natural right out the ground state, and if you're changing it in any way, it's processing. So all processing is not bad, but it's the ultra processing, the fried and grease and all that stuff,
Right.
that's bad for you. So just keep in mind as we go through this throughout the episodes, when we're talking about plant-based, we are going to be encouraging more whole foods, because that's what Ellis was saying earlier about, he saw the effects. It helps your bowels, it helps you sleep, it helps your skin.
Yeah.
That's coming from those more whole food foods, because um, you're getting the nutrition, the actual most value bang for your buck from those foods. So yeah, so this was just a study. Actually, it was a kind of like a summary study, and it found that replacing animal-based foods such as red meat, processed meat, eggs, with plant-based options such as nuts or um, legumes or beans was better for your health. And so, and it didn't take a lot. It was very interesting. So kind of a review of what we already kind of heard or know, but it was just they basically took several studies, and they just looked and they saw that there was a decrease in cholesterol, which of course decreases your risk for heart disease.
Hmm.
And so this study found there was a 27% reduction overall as far as heart disease when they swapped out 50 grams, which is about 2 ounces of processed meat, and instead swapped that with 28 to 50 grams, which is about 2 ounces of nuts per day. So nuts are very beneficial, fiber,
Mhm.
good fats, all that kind of stuff, minerals, vitamins. And then they also found a 23% reduction when the meat was swapped with legumes. So your lentils, your beans, things like that. So um, they also found that replacing butter with olive oil and replacing eggs with nuts also reduced the risk of developing type 2 diabetes, which is something, of course, that's prevalent in the African American community. And to reduce diabetes and heart disease, and replacing other dairy products, fish, seafood. Um, this was interesting. They did not find that when they replaced things like fish, seafood, poultry, there was not a clear reduction in heart disease like you saw with the processed and red meat. So that was interesting. So just wanted to kind of just share that again. Another nothing kind of earth shattering. We've kind of heard these things before, but it's good when the science actually proves that bears that out. Thank you, Audrey, for tuning in from Loganville, Georgia. So does that mean, and what do you think about the Ellis? Is that anything not really surprising, I would say?
It's not surprising. I think what's surprising is the amount of reduction, right? Because if you're thinking about, a 20 to 25% decrease, that's significant when we're talking about our health, right? So like
Mhm.
we talked about, just if you lose 10 pounds, what that does to your body. You're talking about 20 to 25% reduction in cholesterol and other things. So absolutely, please, please, please. The oils that olive oil that Dr. Monique is talking about, it's an oil that stays. When you see the grease in the pan from bacon and meat and other stuff, and you see at room temperature it gets hard, that's not
Mhm.
good for your body. That's not good, because if it's doing that outside your body, what do you think it's doing inside your body? And so
Exactly.
you have to think about that. And so that's why you have to pull. If you're going to eat meat, pull that skin off. Keep it lean. Chicken breast, just whole chicken breast only. And what I do is I cut it up, because when you cut it up into smaller pieces, you tend to get the flavor, but you tend to eat less of it. And so instead of cooking that whole piece of meat, our old school minds, I was raised on, you got to clean your plate. So you put that whole chicken breast on your plate, your tendency is to eat it. But if you cut it up into smaller, and I always like to, my thing now is like cut up into smaller strips, saute it with some stir fry vegetables, some broccoli, some pea pods, some carrots and whatnot. I saute
Mhm.
that up there. I maybe eat about half of that chicken breast, if that. But I get all those beautiful vegetables in there with a little bit of olive oil and some garlic in the bottom of the pan, and I feel so much better, and I can go to sleep without that heaviness on my stomach. I think if I'm being completely honest, my toughest thing has been alcohol.
Mm.
I got I've been cutting back, but I still dabble a little more than I want to.
Well, those liquid calories, they count, right?
Yes.
Anything other than water that you drink, so whether it's alcohol or those specialty coffees or teas, if you're adding, cream and sugar and all the other stuff, those are calories that need to be
Look,
should be
Sharon,
taken. So and then Dr. Rhonda Maddox says she's officially hungry. I know. Stay tuned, because you will be hungry after these shows, because we get into it. So with our last few minutes, I do want to just say, we just celebrated Thanksgiving. Hopefully, if you celebrate that, you had a wonderful time with family. But
yeah,
we are, officially the holiday season is here. So we wanted to take a few minutes to talk about how to holiday the healthy way.
yes,
Um, I will tell you guys. So my mom is old school. She's from Alabama. So Wednesday night she was up all night cooking. Now you would think she was cooking for, 15 people. She was not.
yeah,
It was I have a small family. It's my parents, my boyfriend, my son. Like, it's not a lot of us. So I was like, who are you cooking all this food for? And she keeps saying, well, I make small portions, but if you're making a lot of small portions, that's still a lot of work.
yeah.
So Thanksgiving Day, she was exhausted. She was tired. And then she's like, well, I'm not 40 or 50 anymore. Well, ma'am, really? So that got me to thinking, you know, let's talk about this. 'Cause I told her, I said, Mom, why don't you make what you can ahead? If you want to make and I made the desserts. I was on dessert duty. But if you want to make your dressing, make it in October and freeze it. Like, we're not gonna know the difference, right? Make your greens and freeze it. Your mac and cheese is stuff that you can make in advance. And she's like, well, I'm old school. I want it to be warm. We're not gonna know that you froze it. You can defrost it and use a microwave. So anyway, all that to say, um, let's just share a few tips and pointers on how to holiday the healthy way so that you are not just wiped out and exhausted and you can spend, if you have days off, time off, you can actually spend it and enjoy it with loved ones. So I've got about 4 or 5 that I want to share with you. The first one is stick to a routine. I think it's so easy to get off schedule, to get off track. The days are shorter, right? It gets dark sooner. You've got, if you're hosting for the holiday, if you're traveling, it's very easy to get out of your routine, to get out of your schedule. And then you're just kind of in this loop of trying to catch up and trying to get things done and just feeling just stressed. And that drives up, your blood pressure and your hormone levels and just it's just not good for you. So stick to your routine as much as you can control. And that includes things like getting enough quality sleep, right?
Yep.
And I'm speaking to myself here. And I know these things are not necessarily easy to do, but we have to kind of make this conscious effort because you blink and the holidays are going to be over and you're going to be like exhausted. And you don't want to drag that negative energy into the new year. Thank you, Miss Alize, for watching from Maryland. So stick to a routine and get quality sleep is number two. So hopefully you're getting at least 6 hours of sleep a night or more. 8 hours is ideal. But again, try to stay going to bed at the same time, getting up at the same time. If you have sleep issues, if you're waking up and you're not feeling rested, or a bed partner is telling you that you snore or doing strange things at night, please go get that checked out
Hmm.
because it can be signs of something serious going on, like sleep apnea or restless leg syndrome, or a variety of other things that can affect you during your sleep. Next, I'll say I want to mention stay hydrated. We talked about those liquid calories, but staying hydrated is super, super important. The weather is drier, the air is drier. So in the summertime, you can get dehydrated because it's hot and you're sweating. In the winter time, you can get dehydrated because now the air is drier. You may be mouth breathing. If you got stuffy nose and you're mouth breathing, you're losing moisture. So you want to stay hydrated. You want to make sure that you are drinking your urine. Some people get bogged down with how many cups of water should I drink a day? How many? What I tell people to go by to keep it easy, to keep the math simple, drink until your urine is light yellow.
Hmm.
If your urine looks like pale lemonade, almost water like, you're good. Because some people, if you say, oh, there was a woman who I heard of that actually she died actually
Yeah.
because she drank too much water. She had water intoxication because she was going strictly by this diet that said, women should get X amount of ounces a day, and she drank herself to death.
Yes.
So that's an extreme case, obviously. But I say, use your common sense. If your urine is light or pale, then you're good. The other issue is though, sometimes we mistake hunger for thirst. And so we say, oh, I'm hungry, let me go eat, when actually it's your body's way of telling you that you're thirsty. So if you can drink 8 ounces of water, wait about 15, 20 minutes, see how you feel, and then eat if you're still hungry. By the time that you actually feel thirsty, that you register as, oh, I'm thirsty, you're actually already dehydrated. So
Hmm.
keep that in mind. And again, we're recommending water if you're going to drink sodas or, um, sugary drinks. Please, please, please keep that to a minimum because those things have calories. And so you want to, watch that. The next thing I'd recommend is along with sleep and water is exercise. Stay on your exercise routine. If you work from home and you're sitting at a desk, set your watch or alarm, get up and take those little breaks throughout the day. Go for, if you can, go for a quick walk. If you have a treadmill, go walk on your treadmill for 5 minutes. Whatever, something to get kind of keep going, keep moving around. In addition to regular exercise that you're doing at least 3 to 5 times a week. Um,
I
set a
like that.
budget.
I like that, Courtney. I like that, Courtney.
I think that's a wonderful idea. Mineral water and flavor it with True Lemon. I don't know what True Lemon. Oh, True Lemon. Yeah, yeah, those little packets. That's good. Just watch the sugar on those. I don't know if if that has added sugar, but That's good. If for those of you who don't use that, add real fruit. You can put berries and lemon and cucumber, mint in your water. Lots of different things so that it's not plain water. Um, Set a budget. And I'm not talking about just a spending budget, but even an emotional budget, right? Because the holidays can be very triggering. I mean, we, of course, all the advertising and everything we see on TV is happy, happy, joy, joy. But, let's be honest, the holidays can be very difficult for some people due to losses or depression or things, all kinds of different things. So, learning how to protect your peace is super important. And if an activity doesn't recharge and satisfy you, it's okay to say no, it's okay to have boundaries. So set a budget as far as emotionally, how what are you going to give? What do you need to get back, to really make yourself um to get through these holidays and not just to get not just to survive them but to thrive through them. Thank you, Sherry. Yes, I think we always, the big one of course is, oh, I don't want to spend too much, but we need to budget our time, our activities, our emotions are super super important. And then I think the last thing I'll share with you is meal plan. Okay, I can't, my list can't, would not be complete without something about food. So learning how, or not learning how, but just meal plan and even getting like a whiteboard, maybe if you've got children in the home and you're doing it for your family, a little simple meal board or I mean a whiteboard or on your phone, a calendar, something like that, where you just plan, okay, we're going to have this for the week. And you can, this is a great activity to involve children and to help you plan the meal, to have you prep. And it's okay if you buy some cut up veggies or you buy like stuff that's already prepped for you. No, that's not important. What's important is that you are not feeling overwhelmed, bogged down, and yet you're still able to get healthy and nutritious meals on your family's table. So meal planning, having um food that you can pull out the freezer, that you've prepped ahead, whether it's for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, will really save time and decrease some of that holiday stress. So hopefully those are some pointers for you to holiday the healthy way so that we kick into the new year and ready to go. So
I love all of that. The only thing I would add is don't let your food traditions trap you, right? Because a lot of times, and I think that's what Dr. Monique was talking about with her mom. She was cooking from tradition, and so traditions are just something that we've done year after year after year after year and handed down, right? But traditions can be changed, and so
they sure can.
excuse me. So you can change your food traditions this year. Don't let them trap you. And again, I know everybody's seen that video. A lady get mad about the macaroni and cheese. They were experimenting with macaroni and cheese. Or family member, look, I get it.
Not the
You
time.
don't have to cook the macaroni and cheese. You can just take the macaroni and cheese off it and cook those green leafy vegetables that are wonderful for you, full of vitamin A and all of that. Don't smother down in the ham hock and all that other stuff. If you're gonna put something in there, cook some smoked turkey. I'm sure Dr. May has got some great ways to season those greens without any meat at all. So we're gonna talk about that as well.
Liquid smoke is a great one. But no,
Liquid.
that's a wonderful suggestion. And start your own traditions, right? Start your own healthy, um, mindful traditions, not just because this is the way we've always done it. Um, and then that way you can just kind of bring all this together. You're not just feeling like overwhelmed. I know one of the things about the holidays is like I look forward to it, but then sometimes I'm just like, oh my God, I've got to get
Yeah.
XYZ done. And it literally, like, there was a meme. Basically, it says like the whole year, is 300 something days, but like between December 1st and the 25th, it's like 3 hours or something. Like, like it just goes so fast.
It does.
So you definitely want to do that. And then, like we've said on here before, at the holiday table, pass the peas, pass the family history. Talk about
Yes.
what runs in your family from mental health to physical health. Please, please, please share. There's no shame. We need to get rid of the shame that we have about having a condition. Oh, I don't want anybody to know. Or, I mean, I'm not saying you need to skyrocket, but it is important for to share that information because when you go to the doctor, what do we ask you? Oh, what's your family history? What runs in your family? What do
Mhm.
people tend to have in your family? Well, if you don't share that information, people won't know. So, yeah, sharing. Well, hopefully we're here. We're going to help you, find some ways to start your own traditions or keep, and I'm not saying to throw everything out, because some of my favorite recipes in my book are passed down from my mother and my grandmother, right? Their creamed corn and my mother's. I have my mother's dressing that I made and that I veganized. I mean, you can still enjoy that soul food, enjoy those family traditions, just in a healthier way because. The numbers are scary for diseases and all that kind of stuff that affect us, and we really need to do our part. And a lot of that starts on our plates. So, thank you so much. This has been just wonderful. I'm so glad to be back. I cannot wait. We've got some exciting stuff to share with you all. And again, like I said at the top of the show, we want this to be interactive. We want this to be your show. We want this to be your content. So please, please, please let us know. You can drop it here. You can also drop it on my social media at Physician in the Kitchen, on Insta and TikTok and all the places where the cool kids hang out. And we'd love to, just hear from you. So thank you so much. I think I've talked enough tonight, Ellis. And
Well, I'll take us home. So
that's my
let's
book that he's got there.
please. You see it behind her. Fixmyplatebook.com. Go get that book. Um, you all are part of the family. Just make sure you grab that book. You can go to drmoniquemay.com to get all of her stuff. She's got some great blog posts there, recipes, everything that you can find there. And come here for your accountability. We're going to be here every other week. We're not doing weekly. We're going to go every other week. We're going to buy weekly on this one. So we'll see you back in 2 weeks. And I'll be remiss if Dr. Rhonda is still watching us. She wants us to come on her show. She has a show on Thursdays. So she wants us to
Okay.
show up and come on her show on Thursday and talk about what we talked about tonight and talk about your show. So we will set that up offline. But
Thank
we
you.
had Dr. Rhonda's show earlier today, and we talked about how to get through what's the difference between the holiday blues and real mental health. Because Dr. Rhonda is a psychiatrist, and her show is called "I'm Not Crazy But," and it airs on Thursdays at noon Eastern. And so we
I
really
love
had a
it.
wonderful show today talking about the differences and what the challenges and knowing your triggers are through those holidays. And so there's food triggers and then there's mental health triggers. So we're talking on this show about those food triggers. When you see that sweet potato pie, you see that red velvet cake, you know what it is. You know what it is, folks. Okay. If I'm on your block, if I'm hitting you, if you hurt, just say ouch. Don't say amen. Just say ouch. Because I'm hitting you hard. Because I've been there. I know what it is. Okay. So the ice cream on top of it, and I ain't gonna lie, at Thanksgiving I had some red velvet cake and I put some Haagen Dazs on top of it. Woo! But then I got up the next morning and I walked a mile and a half, and so
There
I was
you
like,
go.
I felt guilty about eating that, but it was Dr. Dutch. It was delicious. That's right, Sherry. Out and amen. Say them both together. So we're gonna work on this together. Sherry, it's so great to see you. Welcome back. All the new folks, Courtney for on YouTube, please come back. Dr. Rhonda, we got you. We love you. We're here for you. We're gonna help you. We're gonna be your accountability partner, Dr. Rhonda, because you got to cut that coffee and that milkshake out, and we'll talk about that. So Courtney, Miss
Or
Elise,
get a plant-based version. We'll have to come
all
up
the
with a
folks.
this plant-based milkshakes for you. Can you freeze up on us again?
Yes, yes, and I think Dr. Rhonda would be willing to let you. I think I did. I think Dr. Rhonda would let you look through her pantry and help her clear out some of that stuff that don't need to
I
be in her
love
pantry.
it.
So
Love
I'm
it.
just I'm just
I
throwing it out.
love it.
I'm just throwing it out there. But yeah, you guys, I'm just so happy. I'm over the moon to have this show back. It has been by popular demand, and we see some of our old faces are back in the chat. We're going to be here Thursday, every other Thursday. Like I said, we're going to be your accountability partner, and we're going to get you on that plant-based diet. Like I at least get my parentheses sort of, but we're gonna start that journey. And we're going to be on that journey together.
Progress, not perfection. That's what we're going for. So, because no
Absolutely.
one's perfect on this earth. So no one. So until next time, enjoy
We'll
everybody.
see
Good
ya.
night.